A long time ago back in middle school, I had this obsession with theoretical physics.
I love science. Seriously, I think Neil deGrasse Tyson is the shit.
Now, I don't anymore, but back then I would listen to anything and everything I could get my hands on. And I started parroting it as though I knew what I was talking about, which... no, I didn't. But I did manage to retain some information. And when I saw that there was a Godzilla anime coming out that combined two of my favorite things at the time, giant monsters and theoretical physics, I should have been happy. And instead, I was confused. And ever since that point, I have watched it 2 more times, and I still don't get it. And I thought I was the only one, but it turns out, no one else got it either. I am of the opinion that a lot of Godzilla movies have very dumb plots, but this is one of those Godzilla stories that is just a bit too smart. It's almost self-indulgent with just how much technobabble there is, while everybody is just waiting for the monsters. Now, in theory, this should be my favorite show. Unfortunately, it's not. The only thing I like about the show is the soundtrack and the intro. Oh, and the visuals too, I suppose. I mean, honestly, the concept of the red dust just makes everything look more ominous and eerie, and it reminds me a lot of 2014, and I like that conceptually. In execution, well, I mean, it still looks good, but I mean, look at it, it's cool, but like, just why is it doing that, and why, I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't get it. And thus comes the title of this video. I am witnessing cosmic horrors beyond my comprehension. And surprise, surprise, I don't get it. And I am not even going to try to make sense of this because I don't want to watch the show again because it gave me a headache.
You'll be what?
I mean, I'm still going to, but like, I don't want to do it for this video. Instead, I'm going to redirect your attention to something that I find particularly fascinating because it's something that I haven't seen a whole lot of people question. So you know how higher dimensional shapes work? Basically, when lower dimensional entities experience higher dimensional objects or creatures, they only see their quote-unquote shadow. If you were a 2D creature in a 2D plane and you saw a sphere pass through your world, what you would see is a circle expand and contract. Similarly, if a 5D cube passed through a 4D space, it would look something like this. Now, why do I say 4D? Well, because we live in a 4D world. You got the x-axis, the y-axis, the z-axis, and time. Time itself is treated as a dimension. So when people refer to 4D objects, what they really mean is 5D. 5D's nuts. And a lot of theoretical physicists, that's a hard word to say, have developed several theories over how many dimensions there are. Some say there's just the 5, some say there's 6 or 7.
No! None of that! Shame on you!
But there is an agreed consensus that there are a total of 10 or 11 or 12. Actually, you know what? It's completely arbitrary. No one cares. Yeah, we're gonna listen to theoretical physicists who work on the theoretical, not the actual. They'll make assertions and truth claims and then be like, oh, well, it's actually just a theory. We don't actually know. But it's mathematically possible, so if it's mathematically possible, then it must be real, right? You know what would be funny? If theoretical physicists were just making stuff up as they go along and they retroactively justify it with maths. But now that we understand higher dimensional space, how does this translate to Godzilla? Well, actually, it's pretty simple. No, it's not. No, it's not. Why is this higher dimensional super god that is Godzilla conspicuously Godzilla shaped? Now that seems like a stupid question, but if you think about it, which do it at your own risk.
Side effects may include nausea, vomiting, headaches, epileptic seizures, nosebleeds, strokes, cerebral palsy, suicidal ideations, murder ideations, kidney failure, and diarrhea.
But the reason I ask is because if we understand higher dimensional beings to be shadows of what are actually present in higher dimensions when they manifest in lower dimensions, why does he look, move, and act as if though he's always been in 3D space? He moves, acts, and behaves as though he's always been a part of a world with traditional spatial-temporal relations. His attacks don't go back in time. He can be fired at. The projectiles physically interact with him. He can be hit. You can stand on him. Godzilla should be moving like this, but he's not, because then winning against Godzilla would be impossible. Here, I'll help you visualize it. So imagine that you have a canvas, right? An empty canvas, and you have multiple layers. You are on layer 1, and you can see an object that is in layer 3. Can you interact with whatever is on layer 3 from layer 1? Imagine trying to fill in an entire box, but you forget that you're still on layer 1 and that you need to switch to layer 3. So you fill in the entirety of layer 1 with the color instead of just the area that you're trying to color in, which is the square. Every single digital artist can relate to this. That's basically the main principle here. They are attacking Godzilla on layer 1 when he's in layer 3. Or to be more precise, they're firing at Godzilla from layer 4 when he's in layer 5, 6, 7.
Shut the fuck up!
I said we weren't doing that. And something similar happens in Godzilla the Planet Eater. Godzilla is phasing through Ghidorah when he should just not be hitting Ghidorah, because Ghidorah is not on the same place as Godzilla.
It's so really it's simple. If you hit this nigga, know the fuck you did it.
Imagine if you're trying to punch a hallucination. Does your fist go through the hallucination like you're phasing through it, or does it just not land? That's basically what I'm talking about. His hits should just not land, but instead, it's like he's physically phasing through him. You can see how lightning crackles around his fingers when he tries to claw through Ghidorah's neck. And Void Ghidorah has a similar problem as all the other creatures from Singular Point. He's higher dimensional, yet he looks conspicuously Ghidorah shaped. Now, granted, the only difference between him and the other monsters from Singular Point is that at least he's infinite in length, so he gets more of an excuse. Just a tiny bit, just a tiny little itsy bitsy excuse. But do you want to know what I think is the real reason why these creatures are called higher dimensional? It's because the writers want them to seem more imposing than they actually are. I mean, they're already pretty imposing as they are, but like they're trying to make it cosmically important, like cosmically imposing, when that's kind of redundant and also not the point of the characters. It's redundant basically because they're trying to make something imposing even more imposing by just describing some cosmic attribute to it, as if what they already have is not enough. But then the creatures behave as they normally would be when they're not cosmic, and their only distinction from other versions of the monsters are literally just the appearance, that's it, and maybe the powers, which are not powers that necessarily come from the higher dimension at all. Unless you mean to tell me that Godzilla's atomic breath works the exact same way as Cyclops' optic blasts, which is stupid. I've always thought that the punch dimension was stupid. Yes, my mutation allows me to biologically open portals to a dimension of pure force and kinetic energy. Yeah, sure. I like the idea conceptually of shooting beams of pure force from your eyes instead of just lasers that burn, but like, did they have to make it that complex? I can biologically open portals in my eyes. That makes sense, yeah. This very concept is just domestic abuse for suspension of disbelief. Possibly the only monster whose power set is consistent and coheres with the established world building of Singular Point is Anguirus, because he can manipulate time to deflect bullets. But yeah, overall, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I mean, it's a thing that I see quite a lot where things that are higher dimensional are conspicuously thing-shaped. And by thing, I mean thing from the 3D world, that it behaves as though it's always been in the 3D world instead of moving like this. But overall, this is just something I wanted to bring attention to because I don't see a whole lot of people talking about this, so I just wanted to share what I thought was the case. I think they're just trying to make the creatures seem more imposing than they actually are. But yeah, that's it. That's all I have to share. Thank you for listening to me ramble, and thank you for engaging in the filler in this channel, because yeah, this is essentially a filler video, but yeah, I don't know how to end it. I don't know how to end this video. Maybe a new video will come out in around 6 or 7 weeks. Wait, no.